Ladies and gentlemen, I am your saviour, Sam Graves, and welcome to another episode of 99 Was It Divine? Here on Near Full Reviews. Today is episode 4, where we'll be looking at the fourth ECW show from 1999, which is Heatwave. So, the last time I looked at ECW, I was joined by Captain Jex Morgan, and we gave ECW Hardcore Heaven 5.5 out of 10 and 6 out of 10. So we both agreed that it was an okay show. 3 really good matches in the middle of the show, along with a decent match between Tommy Dreamer and Lance Storm. But the opening part of the show and the closing part of the show was not very good at all. A -star match on there, and 2 1.5-star matches and a 1-star match means the show unfortunately had to be rated between 5 and 6 out of 10. This show, on the other hand, is the best ECW pay-per-view I have ever seen up to this point. This is my 5th ECW show I've seen. I've seen Hardcore Heaven 99, Guilty as Charged 99, Living Dangerously 99, and Guilty as Charged 2001. This is my favourite ECW ECW pay-per-view up until this point. Really enjoyed the show from top to bottom. Some excellent matches on this one. Lowest star rating for me of the matches that are on this show is 2.5 stars. This kind of shows how good this show is. So we start the show off with Taz. He cuts his usual intense promo where tonight he's going to choke out to Jerry. Beat me if I can, survive if I let you. So this brings us into the arena. Joey Styles hypes the crowd up, and before the actual show starts off proper, we get promos from everyone who's involved in matches tonight except Jazz. I think the highlights being the Dudley Boys promo where they're going to beat the living tar out of Balls Mahoney and Spike Dudley tonight, and the promo by Jerry Lynn and RVD. Dysfunctional tag team partners. The fact that Sabu is annoyed because the RVD has not chosen him to team up with Sabu to team up with RVD to take on the Impact players tonight. The two big rivals will team up tonight, RVD and Jerry Lynn, to take on the Impact players, which is our main event for the night. So, there is one thing I will mention though regarding these promos. A lot of them can't be heard very well because WWE again have edited music in the background. It is absolutely shite. The editing with WWE especially really needs to be sorted out in these old shows, because I get that ECW were using licensed music and WWE are not paying for the licenses, but try to edit the music out so we can just hear the promos if it's going to be that costly for you. So once we get the pay-per-view proper, we get a promo from Danny Doring and Roadkill. The crux of this promo is basically Danny Doring is accompanied by Miss Congeniality, better known to you and me as Lita. He proposes to her. He doesn't have a ring, so he gives her a condom. And this had me cracking up. So I did forget to add the pay-per-view details, so I do apologise for that. There is going to be mistakes in this show, in this review, and in this show for that matter. So again, I do apologise in advance for any of these mistakes, because of course I don't bother editing these videos because I'm too fucking lazy. So it is July the 18th, 1999, and we are live at the Hara Arena in Dayton, Ohio. This is also the arena that Heatwave 98 took place at, and Heatwave 98 is considered by many ECW fans to be the best pay-per-view that they ever aired. I've never seen the show from top to bottom, so once I get around to reviewing it, I will see if I agree with that consensus. So, after the Danny Doring, Roadkill and Miss Congeniality promo, this brings out Nova and Chris Chetti. Joey Styles makes some very amusing quips on commentary about Chris Chetti being Taz's first cousin and that Taz trained him to be an amateur wrestler, and Chris Chetti is more interested in entertaining the fans and dancing like an idiot than he is actually wrestling in this match. So, in our opening contest, Danny Doring and Roadkill lost to Nova and Chris Chetti in a really good tag team match. This match was full of spots. 3.5 stars. I'm giving this one. Full of complete spot fest, and really exciting match from start to finish. Same my thoughts with the entire show. There's a really nice start by Danny Doring and Roadkill. They hit a spinebuster jumping clothesline combo, which gets 2 on Nova. Really, really good. Nova gets in a really nice bulldog on Danny Doring. Chris Chetty then, once he's finished posing and dancing for the fans, gets to the match proper. Danny Doring hits a really nice bareback. That gets 2. G-spot sweep gets 2. Doring then absolutely plants Nova with a really nice swinging DDT. That gets 2. A Crossroads, before it became the Crossroads, gets 2 for Roadkill on Doring. Nova gets the hot tag to Chetty, and Chetty cleans house. He in one motion, he basically hits a bulldog on Doring. Roadkill has basically been laid out by let me get that right again. He hits a bulldog on Doring. He then hits the Amityville Horror on Roadkill. Then proceeds to, in one motion, jump onto the second rope, then onto the top rope, and then hits a really nice Asai moonsault onto Roadkill. After this, Chetty then asks for a mic. He says he is Mr. VIP and he can dance all night long, basically insinuating that he wants to fuck someone. He starts dancing and gyrating in front of the crowd. Nova gets annoyed with him, says, be serious, we're in the middle of a match. Because of this distraction, it allows Nova to get hit by a really, really nice jumping DDT by Doring. That gets 2. One spot I did forget to mention earlier in the match was a really, really good spot with Nova where he gets up into the corner. He goes, literally does a senton off the top rope and then turns it into a double clothesline, taking out Roadkill and Doring. Really, really great spot. End of the match comes when Roadkill gets taken out of the ring by Chetty. That allows Nova to hit the Kryptonite Crunch for the win at about 11 minutes. Really entertaining opening match between these 4. Joey Styles did mention on commentary that these guys have been involved in dark matches at the previous pay-per-views. Being blunt here, I would rather have seen this on the pay-per-view than some of the other shit that we've got so far, especially at Hardcore Heaven. Really enjoyable opening contest, 3.5 stars. After this, we get another really good match. Worst match of the night, this one, but entertaining as hell. So in our second match of the night, Jazz defeated Jason in a really good intergender match. Much better than expected. So Jazz and Jason were part of Just Incredible's entourage with Nicole Bass and Chastity. Basically, Jazz was being used by them for her services, basically as a distraction, take moves for them to allow Justin to win his matches. Jazz kind of twigged on to what they were doing, and then she got kicked out by Jason, so all this has led to this match tonight. I thought this match was going to be shit, and it really wasn't. It was really well worked by these two. 2.5 stars, this one. Highlights of the match: Jazz hitting a really nice springboard crossbody on Jason. Jason going for a Vader bomb. Jazz moved out of the way. Really funny spot in the corner where Jason basically gets hit with a chair by Jazz. He falls down in the corner. Jazz then proceeds to hit a basement dropkick with a chair right into Jason's balls, which is hilarious. Jason's selling job was great. That gets 2. End of the match comes. Jason attempts to go for a power bomb, and Jazz counters with an X Factor on the chair to get the win. About 8 or 9 minutes. Really entertaining match between these two. I've never really thought of intergender wrestling as being really that good. Because most of the time, and don't take to this offence to any of this, but some of the women that they have in the matches are were pretty terrible in the ring. Things like Maria versus Santina Marella, and Sable versus Mark Miro, things like that, where it's just more angles. No disrespect to the women or the men, but the only good intergender matches that I've ever seen is Chris Jericho and Christian versus Trish Stratus and Lita at Armageddon 03, and Sami Callihan versus Tessa Blanchard. They're the only good intergender matches I've ever seen. And this one gets added to that list. 2.5 stars. After this, we get a promo in the back with Steve Corino. He basically says that tonight he's going to... Once Tajiri has beaten Taz, he's going to give him the ECW title. Steve Corino has formed a new faction with Rhino, with Jack Victory, and with Tajiri. Video package plays that was in the theatre where Raw used to be held. I can't remember its name off the top of my head. Where Taz is in the ring. He basically explains that that this is his hometown. Steve Corino comes out. He says he's going to kick Taz's ass. Taz challenges him to a match. But before Corino can accept, it was all a swerve. Tajiri hits him with a buzzsaw kick, and then Tajiri proceeds to beat up Taz. Corino had basically placed a bounty on Taz, and Tajiri had basically accepted the money for the bounty and beat up Taz. That's what's led to tonight's match. So, following this, we get one of the best matches of the night, as in our third match of the night. Super Crazy defeated Little Guido in a really good match. 4 stars, this one. Quite surprised with how good this match actually was, considering the two completely different styles. Guido, of course, is much more strike and submission based. Crazy is obviously luchador. So, not really a typical meshing of styles in this one, but these two worked a really, really good match. One of the best spots of the match, early in the match, Crazy goes for a springboard moonsault and it's countered by Guido into a really nice Fujiwara armbar. Really fantastic spot. Sal gets involved a couple of times in this match. He world's strongest slams Crazy on the concrete outside the ring. There's no mats at this arena. And that only gets 2. And for some reason, Guido still seems to feel the need to distract the ref in this match twice for so Sal can interfere. I don't know why. Again, ECW no disqualifications, so in their matches, so I don't really understand why this needs to happen. One of the stories of this match is the fact that Guido basically hits all of his finishers. He hits the Kiss of Death. That doesn't get the win. Sal interferes. All these Kiss of Death, that only gets 2. Multiple moves that Guido tries to put Crazy away with. He tries to hit him with, he tries to get him locked in a Sicilian crab. Crazy manages to get to the ropes. Guido, basically the whole crux of this match, the story of this match, is that Guido cannot put away Super Crazy, and he's getting more and more frustrated throughout the match. He starts shouting at Sal at one point, because obviously Sal's interference doesn't work. And this proves to be Guido's undoing at the end of the match. So Crazy hits all his high spots. He hits a really nice Asai moonsault into the crowd that takes up Guido. Crazy does a moonsault off the other spot, really good spots in the match. Crazy hits a moonsault off the balcony in the crowd, really, really good spot. Hits the triple jump moonsault, that only gets 2. End of the match comes when Guido goes for the Kiss of Death, and which is of course the Unprettier, and Crazy counters it into the Riccolo bomb, gets the win at about 15 odd minutes. This was a fantastic match. High spots from both of them. Great story of the match, with Guido getting more and more frustrated because he can't beat Super Crazy. Great spots from these guys. The crossbody count, the springboard moonsault count into the armbar was fucking fantastic. Dive off the balcony, the moonsault off the balcony was great. And really like the end of the match as well. Guido, going for the Kiss of Death again, and then it gets countered into a power bomb, get the win for Crazy. And then after the match, Guido starts screaming at Big Sal because of the fact that he can't seem to win. that's basically that he's basically Guido's getting frustrated with Sal because Sal's interference didn't win in the match, and Sal just turns around to him and just tells him to calm down, and Guido says it's fine, don't worry about it. So some building dissension by the looks of it with the FBI, and of course earlier in the year Tracy Smothers and Tommy Rich had turned on Guido, so it looks like we might be heading for a little Guido and Big Sal breakup, which, to be perfectly blunt, I don't really think that should be happening because they do make a good pairing. They make a very entertaining pair. So after this, we get a... one thing I did forget to mention. Cyrus comes to join Joey Styles for the rest of the night on commentary. Don Callis, for those of you who watch Impact Wrestling. And to be fair to Cyrus, he actually makes this pay-per-view even better with him on commentary. He's pretty good all night. Where I would rather had Cyrus join at the start of the show, but him and Joey Styles have actually quite a good back and forth on commentary. Cyrus's whole gimmick is that he's basically a leech, tries to sleep with anyone, and he's basically really underhanded in everything that he does, and he's pretty much a coward. And this commentary duo are really, really good. So after this, we've got one of the most infamous moments in ECW history. Now, the Dudley Boys come out. Of course, they're accompanied by Joel Gertner and Sign Guy Dudley, and Bubba Ray and Devon proceed to cut one of the best Dudley Boys promos I have ever heard. They call the crowd pieces of white trash. They don't want to be in this fucking shithole, referring to Dayton, Ohio. And then Bubba then starts challenging the crowd to come in the ring and fight him. But what does Bubba do? Well, instead of doing his usual shtick where he challenges the crowd, he goes up to a guy in the front row. He calls him a bald fat piece of shit. And the guy is basically sitting there jaw-jacking with Bubba. And Bubba gets right in the guy's face. Looks like they're about to come to real blows. But in something which I cracked up at, the guy next to him grabs a beer and throws it in Bubba's face and tries to jump the rail. Security have to tackle the guy off. and Bubba's basically pissed off, and actually Bubba climbs over the barricade and punches the guy in the face. I could not stop laughing at this. Devon has to physically restrain the guy. It has to basically pull Bubba over the guardrail to stop him from going after him. I know Bubba, but Mark LaMarco, the guy who plays the Bubba Ray Dudley character, he is a guy who's, in real life, he really likes inciting fans. But this was funny, but it was going a step too far. I know ECW, with their whole thing of, insulting that their heels were quite happy to get involved with the fans, but this was going a little bit too far. But it does make for great television. So after that exchange, Joel Gertner cuts his usual promo, and Joel Gertner, this is the best one he's done. He basically tells the crowd to stop cheering for him and says that he wants to have an orgasm in every woman's pants in this arena, even the fat bitch in the third row, which cracked me up. This whole pay-per-view from start to finish is entertaining. After this, Devon gets on the mic and tells that piece of shit half brother of theirs, Spike Dudley, to get his ass down to the ring so they can fight. Of course, then Spike and Balls Mahoney come out. Balls gets on the mic, turns around to the pair of them, tells them to stop being chicken shits and actually have an actual fight with them. Devon says, we accept Dayton Street Fight, Falls Count Anywhere. So I'm thinking, this will probably be the worst match of the night. Because the last time these four had a match, which was at the last pay-per-view, I gave their match at Hardcore Heaven a 1.5. It was not very good at all. This one, on the other hand, is a 3.5 star match. Falls Count Anywhere, this one. And this match is really, really good. They step their game up, no end in this one. This is the best Dudley Boys match I have seen in ECW, apart from One Night Stand, where I gave their match against the Sandman and Tommy Dreamer in the main event 4 stars. This one gets 3.5 from me. And it's pretty much what you'd expect. Straight away, first part of the match, not even 2 minutes into the match, Spike Dudley gets busted open when he gets a chair shot from Devon in the ring. So while Spike and Devon are fighting on the outside, there's a lot. Bubba Ray gets hit in the head with a chair by Balls Mahoney. This gets 2. That gets 2. I forgot to say this is for the ECW World Tag Team Championships. Bubba then finds a cheese grater and then proceeds to basically slice open Balls Mahoney's head. That busts Balls open. Balls then counters by Bubba basically tries to open up the cut. Balls counters by hammering him in the balls with a steel chair. And then Balls grabs the cheese grater and starts tearing it on Bubba's head. So Bubba gets busted open. So in the first 10 minutes of this match, 3 people have been busted open. Devon then gets busted open by Spike Dudley when Spike Dudley grabs a cookie tray and smashes him over the face with it. In the ring, Balls Mahoney hits a super kick to Bubba. That gets 2. After this, we then proceed into the crowd where Bubba starts fighting. Bubba then starts beating up Spike. Bubba starts fighting with Spike. Devon starts fighting with Balls Mahoney. So Bubba and Spike then proceed to go up to. Yeah, I did forget to say in between this, Balls then got hit with a Dudleyville sign by Bubba Ray that knocked Balls out. This then Devon got knocked out by Spike. Spike hit him in the head with a chair on the outside, and then Spike hit a really nice acid drop off the guardrail onto Bubba Ray. Not onto Bubba Ray, so onto Devon. So that's how Devon got knocked out. After this, of course, this then led to Spike and Bubba Ray brawling into the crowd. Devon and Balls Mahoney then managed to recover. They start fighting into the crowd, and I'm thinking, oh god, here we go, because they can't do a Dudley's match without a fight in the crowd. But to their credit, it doesn't go on that long. So Bubba gets hit with an acid drop. This is again a really good spot. Bubba gets hit where Spike basically runs up the side of a wall and then hits an acid drop onto concrete, onto some concrete on the outside. That must have hurt. Also, they had to get a second referee in this match because of the fact that there's 2 separate brawls going on in the arena. After this, Spike then proceeds to outdo New Jack's dive at Living Dangerously, where he climbs onto a concrete divide, which is a concrete divide on a balcony, which is about 20 feet in the air, and then proceeds to hit a diving crossbody off the top of it, and the crowd is going fucking rabid at this. Meanwhile, Devon and Balls Mahoney proceed to fight back into the ring, where Devon proceeds to hit a really nice spinebuster on Balls Mahoney off the top rope. That gets 2. So Spike and then Bubba eventually get back to the ring, while Balls Mahoney smashes Devon in the face with his chair. That gets 2, because the pin's broken up by Bubba Ray. The pin's broken up by Bubba Ray, because in the interim between those two getting back to the ringside area, Spike had been hit in the head again with a sign by Bubba Ray Dudley. After this, Dudley boys then proceed to hit a double power bomb off the top rope. So Devon hits one on Balls Mahoney, Bubba hits one on Spike. That gets 2. Dudley's then lay out Balls with a 3D. Bubba and Devon then lay out Spike with a 3D. Then a table is brought into the ring. Now, on commentary before this match, Joey Styles had mentioned that Spike had lost 2 weeks of his career when he was put through a flaming table by the Dudley boys. So they do that exact same spot here. They get a table. They get 2 tables, actually, after the powerbomb. Sorry, I did forget to mention this. They proceed to get 2 tables from under the ring. Both of them get lit with lighter fluid. Dudley's first put Spike through a table with a 3D. Balls then gets hit with a 3D on the side of the table. And then the Dudley Boys, but amazingly, this only gets 2. Actually, no, I do apologise, I got that spot completely wrong. No, it wasn't a 3D through a table. Actually, it was it was a power bomb from the top rope, a bubba bomb off the top rope through a flaming table on Spike. Devon hit a spine buster on the side of the table, the other flaming table, on Balls Mahoney. That must have absolutely caned. And after this, before this, the Dudley Boys had hit a 3D. The Dudley Boys, instead of deciding to go for the cover, the Dudley Boys decide that they want to inflict more punishment on Spike, so they grab the other table and relight it on fire. Now, this match would have been 4 stars if it hadn't been for the slow and botchiness of this part of the match. So the Dudley Boys proceed to want to hit a 3D on Spike through the table. Balls manages to recover. He grabs a steel chair, low blows Devon with it. That allows Balls to hit a Nutcracker Suite on Devon, and Spike to recover to hit an acid drop. That gets 2. Dudley Boys then hit a 3D on Balls Mahoney. That gets 2. Another Nutcracker Suite and acid drop combination. So that gets 2 when Sign Guy Dudley pulls the ref out of the ring. And then, this is one thing that again knocks it down by 1/4 star for me, is the ending of this match. So the Dudley Boys proceed to attempt another 3D on Balls Mahoney, and then Spike rolls up Devon to get the win. I was a bit annoyed with that finish. All these great spots they had before this, flaming table spots, dives off the balcony, cheese grater, and then Spike proceeds to get the win with a roll up. So it would have been a 4 star, but gets knocked down to 3.5 because of the weak finish and the botchiness of the flaming table spots. So after the match, the Dudley Boys, being the Dudley Boys, attack Spike and Spike and Balls Mahoney. Dudleys hold up the tag titles. We're the rightful champs. Cyrus is of course bigging them up. Joey Styles is going absolutely mental on commentary. Don't let them have the celebration. And then after this, New Jack's music hits. Now, New Jack was last seen on TV at Living Dangerously when he had a hellacious street fight with Mustafa Saeed, and the Dudleys after the match had basically beaten the living tar out of him and put him out of action for 4 months. New Jack comes down the ring. He saves Balls and basically Bubba Ray and the Dudley Boys were about to put Spike Dudley through another table for a flaming table. New Jack comes down. He beats the shit out of both the Dudley Boys. Another really amusing thing with New Jack here, he gets a vacuum cleaner and proceeds to smash Devon over the head with it, and then proceeds to basically mock Hoover over the top of Bubba Ray's pretty much dead body at this point, because New Jack had come in and hit both of them in the face with the Dudley Boys sign, the Dudleyville sign that they had. New Jack makes the save, and the Dudley Boys bail up the ramp. The Dudley Boys bail up the ramp, and Spike and Balls Mahoney celebrate the fact that they are the new tag team champions. 3.5 star match. Couple of nitpicks I had with it. As I said, 1 with the weak finish with a roll up from Spike, and 2 with the issues with the flaming table spot. That was a bit it was a bit iffy. But I'm really happy to go 3.5 stars. Easily the best Dudley Boys match I've seen in ECW. Much better than their encounter at Hardcore Heaven. So after this, Tommy Dreamer is in the ring. Now, Tommy Dreamer is with Francine. He cuts a really, really heartfelt promo saying that, the fans are the heart and soul of ECW. You guys made this what it is. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. And he starts crying. This brings out Steve Corino. Corino cuts an amazing promo, basically ripping into Dreamer, saying that I used to respect you. You used to be a wrestler, not a hardcore imbecile, is what he has been. Sorry, is what he calls him. A hardcore has been. I used to respect you. I used to look up to you. And look what you've turned into. All you care about is hardcore. This company is supposed to be called Extreme Championship Wrestling. People pay to see me wrestle, not to see you lot take shots at each other with weapons and bleed buckets for their entertainment. Basically, Steve Corino's gimmick is Mr. Anti-Hardcore. People pay to see us wrestle, not to see you lot beat each other up with weapons. Basically the gist of the promo. Tommy Dreamer has basically been teasing this big announcement tonight, and Corino then comes in the ring. Corino turns around to him and says, "What's your big announcement?" "Oh, I'll tell everyone. You've got 2 herniated discs in your back. You need back surgery. So you're going to retire." Basically, Dreamer is teasing a retirement here. So sort of the same sort of thing they did with Shane Douglas just before Living Dangerously. But this one, of course, because it's Tommy Dreamer, has a lot more weight behind it. I'm really, really enjoying this. And Tommy getting pissed off because of the fact that Corino's bashing him. Dreamer gets pissed off. He attacks Corino. This, of course, leads Jack Victory to get in the ring. Jack Victory has been in this wheelchair throughout the entire night, faking that he's got an injury. Of course, it's not real. Jack gets in the ring. He attacks. He smashes Dreamer from behind. Then, of course, this leads to Jerry coming out. Jack and Steve Corino start beating on Dreamer. Then they turn their attention to Francine. Jack basically grabs Francine. Tajiri's about to hit a buzzsaw kick on her. Which he actually does, because before that, Dreamer's trying to get up and save her. After this, after that, Rhino hits him with a gore, knocks out Dreamer. Tajiri kicks Francine multiple times, and this brings out Taz. Taz has had enough. Taz is really pissed off. He comes out, starts beating on the heels, and we go into our next match. So basically, just to this promo is, Dreamer's announcing his retirement. Corino comes in, makes the interruption, and starts beating down him and Francine, and of course Taz makes the save. So in our semi-main event, Taz defeated Tajiri in a good match to retain the ECW World Championship. This one is a 3-star match. This one is not as good as Taz's match with Sabu from Living Dangerously, but much better than his match against Papa Ray Dudley at the last show. Really good start with this match. Tajiri hits a really, really good handspring elbow on Taz. That gets 2. Tajiri throws Taz to the outside, throws him over the guardrail, and it's a picture-perfect Asai moonsault from the outside onto Taz, who's in the crowd. Throws him in the ring, hits a buzzsaw kick. That gets 2. Taz then starts responding. He hits the Tazplex. That gets 2. Some really good chain wrestling between these two, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. In fact, no, sorry, I'm not going to give this 3 stars. I'm going to give this 3.5 stars. So, again, I'm sorry for getting my rating wrong. Really good back and forth chain wrestling between these two. Corino gets involved a couple of times in this match. Taz hits a really nice pump handle driver. That gets 2. And then the fight proceeds to the outside. Tajiri gets battered out round the ring by Taz. Taz is just beating on him outside of the ring. Jack Victory manages to, distracts Taz. That allows Tajiri to take back control. Tajiri hits a really, really nice one-handed bulldog. He jumps off the top rope and bulldogs Taz onto the ramp. That's really cool. Corino then tries to come from behind. He tries to attack Taz again. He attempts to hit him with a chair. Taz literally no-sells it, chases Carino up the ramp, chases Carino, Jack and Jack Victory up the ramp. While this is going on, Rhino has set up a table behind, where Tajiri, where Taz had, where basically after this Taz had hit a Tazplex on Tajiri on the ramp. Rhino sets up a table. Tajiri then proceeds to attempt to hit a dragon suplex on Taz through the table. Taz counters into a belly-to-belly suplex through the table. And then Taz then basically shouts at the top of his voice, "I've had enough of this shit," walks up the ramp and grabs a barbed wire baseball bat. And basically they've got a wide-angled camera shot of the entire ramp. So sort of like Living Dangerously, the ramp is really long, and it's a wide camera shot of the entire ramp. And Taz proceeds to grab this barbed wire baseball bat. Tajiri attempts to Tajiri charges at him. Taz hits him in the ribs with the bat, and then proceeds to grab the bat and choke out Tajiri with the bat. Now, this causes, apparently, because the fact that the camera is way too far out, you can't actually see what's going on between Taz and Tajiri. This is why I could, before Joey Styles actually stated, he's choking out with a barbed wire bat. It didn't make any sense. I thought Taz had just locked a Taz mission on. No, but he had a barbed wire baseball bat. And then the bell goes, and I'm thinking, okay, what's going on here? Now, I thought originally that the match had been awarded to Taz by referee stoppage, but turns out apparently that Tajiri had tapped out. Now, if I'm not mistaken, in ECW this wasn't advertised as a Falls Count Anywhere match. So, as far as I'm aware, this match should have ended in the ring. With the referee stoppage, or with the referee stoppage. ECW only do referee stoppages if either something's happened, or somebody has passed or choked out. That's basically the only way with ECW that they did ref stoppages. Now, I thought ref stoppages only took place in the ring, but of course this one ended with Taz choking out Tajiri with a baseball bat. Now, I originally was going to give this match 4 stars because the action in the ring was good. This was a really well worked match until the finish. I didn't like the finish at all in this match. Mainly not because of the actual finish itself, but because of the fact that it was done on a wide angle camera shot instead of actually showing Tajiri being choked out by the baseball bat. So earlier in the card, it's perfectly fine to have someone put through a flaming table and have a cheese grater rip open a wound in the face, but it's too much to see someone being choked out with a barbed wire baseball bat. But I'm prepared and happy to give it 3.5 stars. It would have been 4 if it hadn't have been for that really, really bad ending. Or, well, not bad ending, just the editing, the camera work, and just, the fact that it happened outside the ring when it should have happened inside the ring. I've been, as I said, on this part of the review, I've been toying between 3, 3.5 and 4. I'm going to go in the middle and go 3.5 stars, because the match was really good, up until the kind of iffy finish. So, after this, we get a video package highlighting the feud between Jerry Lynn, Rob RVD, the last matches they've had at the last 2 pay-per-views, and then what happened between Hardcore Heaven and here. So, Just Incredible and Tom and Lance Storm, Impact players, they've basically been invading, wanting to become the best thing in ECW, as most young people, at the time wanted to, be the top of the food chain. And RVD, of course, being RVD, he is, he's Mr. Pay-Per-View. He's basically a show-off face character. RVD is his biggest opponent to date. Not RVD, Jerry Lynn is his biggest opponent to date. And, because the fact that Fonzie's been attacked recently and RVD's been attacked recently, Sabu's been attacked recently, that RVD is pissed off with the Impact players because he's been attacked. Him and Fonzie have been attacked recently by the Impact players, because the Impact players, of course, are trying to become the best thing in ECW. Personally, I think that going after Taz would have been the right thing, but I digress. But RVD has chosen Jerry Lynn as his partner tonight. Sabu is pissed off with RVD because of the fact that he's not chosen his usual tag team partner to team in the main event. He's chosen his biggest rival to team with him in the main event, and Sabu, of course, is pissed off with this. But Sabu is still, friends with RVD, and he's still managed by Fonzie. So we've got the sort of dissension between odd couple tag partners with Lynn and RVD. So, in our main event, RVD and Jerry Lynn defeated the Impact players, which of course is Lance Storm and Just Incredible, in a fantastic tag team match. This one gets given 25 to 30 minutes, and this match is not boring at all. I'm not going to really say any of the spots in the match, because this match is on the network. It is probably on YouTube. 4.5 stars this one gets from me. Just go and watch the match for yourselves if you get the chance to. It is a wonderfully made tag match. I will say the ending of the match. So, ending of the match basically comes when Credible is on a table in the ring. RVD wants to put Credible through it with a 5-star frog splash. Lance Storm pulls him off the top rope. Lance Storm pulls him off the top rope. Storm then proceeds to, they're doing tags in this match. Storm pulls him off the top rope. Lynn goes to attempt to hit Storm with a chair. RVD recovers after this. RVD then goes to attempt to put Credible through the table with a 5-star frog splash, but no, I've done it wrong again. Right, let me restart this bit. So, end of the match comes. Credible gets put on a table. RVD sets up a chair in the ring because he basically wants to put Credible through the table. Goes to hit 5-star frog splash, gets shoved off by Lance Storm. Lynn's actually selling on the outside at this point. While this is going on, RVD makes a recovery. He hits a spin kick to knock out Storm. And then Sabu jumps in the ring and he steals, because Storm, basically RVD goes to the top rope to hit another 5-star frog splash on Credible through the table. While he's doing this, Sabu proceeds to jump in the ring for the others from coming through the crowd, comes through the ring, hits the Arabian leg drop on Credible through the table, and then while this goes on, this allows Lynn to hit a cradle pile driver on Lance Storm to get the win at 25.5 minutes. I'm sorry if I was slightly botched at the ending of the match, but like I said, go and watch this match from start to finish. It is really good action throughout. 4.5 star match. Happy to give it the 4.5 stars. It's wonderful tag match. This one not as good as the match between Lynn and RVD at Living Dangerously, but it came damn close to it. Because they're in the middle of the match. It did, when Storm was in control, he did slow the pace down of the match a bit, because obviously Lance Storm is more of a technical wrestler more than a high flyer. So, with Storm, he did slow the match down during the middle of the match, to get the heat building segments. So, what did I think overall of ECW Heatwave 1999? So, let's recap from top to bottom. Nova and Chris Chetty versus Danny Doring and Roadkill, 3.5 stars. Jazz versus Jason, 2.5 stars. Little Guido versus Super Crazy, 4 stars. Dudley Boys versus Spike and Balls Mahoney, 3.5 stars. Taz versus Tajiri, 3.5 stars. And Jerry Lynn and RVD versus the Impact Players, 4.5 stars. This is a fantastic show from top to bottom. and is the best ECW show I have ever seen up until this point. I'm happy to go 9.5 out of 10 for this. Thoroughly would recommend going to watch this show, especially the main event and the match between Little Guido and Super Crazy. Both were fantastic matches, and an amazing pay-per-view from top to bottom. The promos were great from everybody. Cyrus and Joey Styles were going to commentary. Literally everything in the show is fantastic. And also forgot to mention, after the tag match, Lynn, Sabu and RVD start brawling and security have to pull them apart. So, 9.5 out of 10. Would thoroughly recommend going to see this show. Probably the best wrestling show I have ever seen from ECW. Match of the night, main event, match of the night for me, easily. Sorry if this review has been a bit more off than usual. I've been having a few issues tonight with my sleep recently, so my review is probably a little bit off tonight. I should have probably done it another night, but oh well. I'm trying to give you the best content I can. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Click the bell for the bell icon for more videos like this one, and leave me a comment below, and I'll get back to it as soon as I can. My next review in this series will be ECW Anarchy Rules, which will be the September '99 show from ECW. I have been Sam Graves from Near Fall Reviews. Thank you for watching, and good night to you all. Take care, guys.